Welcome. We're looking at 1 week after surgery and a little bit of change. This week has been very interesting, and I think for all, week one is going to be a very difficult challenge. It's going to challenge your pain levels of absorbing, because you're going to have a lot of fluid build up in your leg. You're going to feel an extreme, the amount of pain is just around the knee, around the calf, even around the foot itself. It's kind of unbearing. And I mean, I have my brace on, and it doesn't hurt when it's elevated as much, or maybe when you're on the cap machine. But when you're on your crutches, and since it's all this fluid is kind of going downwards now, it's creating this kind of pain, and it feels weird. At first I was like, oh, is this supposed to be happening? Am I gonna just lose my whole leg? But it is normal, and it will test your bearing. Pills will work for a couple hours. Hydrocodone is what I'm taking. I've reduced from taking 3 a day to 2, from 2 to 1, and then I hopefully by like week 5 or week 6 I'm not taking any, and that's when week 6 is when I could start putting weight bearing action to my movements. So that's good, and I'm very happy, and I'm excited to be in when I get into that phase. Just because I tore my meniscus in a very horrific way, the doc recommended me not to do anything weight bearing for at least 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a long time. Anyways, for week 1, I'm going to tell you the challenges first. Challenges is taking the shower. Taking the shower is tough. Have that chair for your shower. Hopefully it's not a shower that you have to step over, because sometimes you might slip. Luckily, I have a pretty solid shower. I'll put a picture onto it right now. Has everything that you need. It has an accessible hose so that you can spray upon yourself and not get your wound infected or contact with water right now. Because for me, I have the sutures still on. I get them off this Thursday, and then maybe that's when I could start putting a little bit of contact into water with my leg, hopefully. Anyways, that's one challenge. Second challenge is I found it kind of difficult and very frustrating in the beginning, is taking a shit. With this brace, your foot is always constantly straight, and you got to create like the Verizon V. You got to create the sorry about that. You got to create the Verizon V on sitting down the toilet. And then first of all, you want to have a toilet that is low to the ground, so that you don't have, actually not low, it's a little bit higher, so that you don't have to fully do it like a pistol squat to reach the toilet seat with your butt cheeks. That being said, before you even sit down, you should at least buckle down your pants, get ready, and then have it at least halfway down, so that when you do it, you're taking your good leg out first, and then using it as a guide to kind of push down the shorts, or mostly shorts, so you're going to be wearing, or pants, to a certain level where you can use the bathroom. Don't mind the fam. They're downstairs doing some stuff outside. It's a beautiful Sunday. I guess that was the second challenge. And while we're on the topic of the number 2, one thing that you'll face if you are taking the painkillers is you're going to be constipated. Constipated stinks. You're in that toilet, you're pushing, and I don't even need to tell you that what's next, because it sucks. And it will get better depending on your diets, the amount of water you're taking, and the amount of medicine that you are consuming. That's why now I'm kind of rotating into the nutrition that I did this, and I kind of use the wave things to do as a aspect of editing for myself. It's a little easier to know where I'm beginning. But for nutrition, like I said about you being constipated, I am consuming at least 1 gram of body fat of protein, because you will lose muscle mass on that left leg, well, the leg that is injured. And overall, since you're not going to be able to do any physical activity, you're going to be losing muscle mass. So what I try to do is at least 1 gram of protein to have at least a stable balance of protein diet. Limit my carbs because I'm not really doing much, and balance with fats. So in the morning I would fast until like maybe 11 o'clock, and then I would have lunch for work. I would eat about 3 eggs and some beans. And if you don't like beans, at least a little bit oatmeal for good carbs, but you need that fiber. And like I said, with the fiber, it's going to help for the constipation, for your metabolism of food, because you're kind of congested when you're taking these painkillers and whatnot. And to top that, I have a black coffee. And usually, if it's a good day, I would have to go to the restroom, and that'll be good because I wanted to get everything kind of fluid out, back and forth between my system with the medication. Lunch is, like I said, a high protein, so I would have like a tuna wrap with some lettuce. I would have maybe some chicken salad, something with the high protein again, and low carbs, and some good fats. And then for dinner, kind of the same aspect I had this week was like some chicken and some mole, some frijoles with some rice, and some good carbs that I'm going to need for the next day, since I'm not going to be eating until 11 o'clock. And lunch so the time frame would have been like 11 for like a morning lunch, a late breakfast. A snack would be for lunch around maybe 1:30, 1 o'clock, depending on how much time I got, how my schedule is. And then dinner is around 5 to 6. And I do have a good fasting period, and I throw snacks in there, some healthy nuts, some fruit, a protein shake, most definitely, just because like I said, I'm trying to get food into my system to help for the recovery, as well as a good amount of protein. And I mean that pretty much covers my aspect of lunch or nutrition, I guess, for this week. There was nothing really special I ate. I am cutting out alcohol itself as whole. You're just like, oh my God, how are you going to endure the pain? Well, you just have to use your mentality and whatnot. I've been cutting out smoking some cigars here too, just because I'm honestly trying to focus on the rehabilitation of this leg. I want it back. I want it good. I miss walking. And it's going to be a process of how you put it. That being said, we're going to go into the physical therapy aspect. Alright, we're back at home. We're in the sofa area. I'm going to show the movements that they're going to check. They're going to check the angle of your leg. And obviously, being on the couch, it is kind of off. But you kind of want to be at a 0. But usually you're at a negative angle. Not a negative angle, but a negative degree, I mean. And they're going to check your flexion of your knee. So it's going to be like about there. And it stinks because you're like, oh my God, no progress. But once you start doing these exercises, it's going to start feeling a little bit better. After the shock therapy, before I was not able to lift my leg up by itself. Like, just for some reason, it wasn't connecting. But now, with my foot planted, I can start lifting that up. And I'm not going to harass myself too much, but it was a good movement.
Make sure you get a person there to help you out, because otherwise you're going to be like, help, help, and nobody going to help you.
Exactly. And by that, they mean me, because I always scream, help.
Okay,
help.
but I always help you though, okay?
They're going to, another exercise is the glute squeezes. And it helps a lot with the quad activation to start getting fluid down through your leg and away from your knee. Because if fluid starts building up around where the ACL was kind of constructed, it might do more damage and take the process a lot longer to heal. So that's why that elevation, the ice therapy, and movement on your quadricep is going to be good. That's why I'll be doing the shock therapy, which here's the picture right now. And as you see that activation on your quad, that is going to help alleviate that buildup of fluid, and hopefully lower inflammation, and you can start getting into better therapy sessions and more demanding therapy sessions. That being said, I'm going to do the ultimate test that they always love to do, which is like the leg slides. So you plant one leg here, and if you're in therapy, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't know if I can even do it right now because my leg's kind of tight. But you're just going to slide. And as you can tell, this shit's fucking tough. You can hear me breathing. And like after my shock therapy, I got to like angle 45 degrees on my flexion, and I was very pleased. But that was with help, so. Because typically you want to, like on my right leg, this is what you want to be seeing. But as you can tell, this is a progress. Slow and steady wins the race. Anyways, that is much for the exercises for now. Like I said, you can't be doing too much. I would recommend getting the cap machine, using that 3 times a day, icing it 3 times a day, and doing your exercises. I do mine in the morning and do mine in the evening before I go to bed, so you don't forget. And drink a lot of water. That being kind of said, that should be it. I kind of covered over the topics of challenges, nutrition, and your physical physical tasks that you should be doing throughout maybe week 1 leading into week 2. But I'll catch you guys next week on week 2.